I dropped my phone on the counter when the text came through. It was from my college roommate Jessica, someone I hadn't heard from in 6 months. Call me when you can. It's about Vincent. Important. I stared at the message for a solid minute before picking up the phone. Jessica answered on the first ring. I need to show you something, she said without preamble. Can I send screenshots? My chest tightened. What kind of screenshots? There was a pause. Just let me send them, look at them, and then call me back. 3 images came through. I opened the first one and felt the floor tilt. It was a Venmo transaction from Vincent's account. The payment was to someone named Brooke Ashford, $50. The description read, "Dinner with my favorite person," followed by a red heart emoji and the couple emoji with 2 people kissing. The date was March 15th, 2 weeks ago. I opened the second screenshot, another payment to Brooke Ashford, $35. Best brunch date ever, babe, with more heart emojis. March 8th. The third screenshot showed $60. Movie night with you is perfect. And the couple emoji again. February 28th. I sat down hard on one of the kitchen chairs. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone again. I called Jessica back. His Venmo is public, she said immediately. I was sending money to Sarah for her birthday, and Vincent's name came up in the public feed. I clicked on it out of curiosity and saw all these payments to this Brooke person. There are dozens of them. Dozens, I repeated numbly. I screenshotted the most recent ones, but his transaction history goes back months, all with couple emojis, all romantic descriptions, all to the same woman. I looked at the date on the first screenshot again, March 15th. That was the night Vincent had told me he was working late on a presentation. I'd eaten dinner alone and gone to bed at 10. Are you sure it's him? I asked, even though I could see his profile picture clearly in the screenshots. I'm sure, Jessica said gently. I'm so sorry. After hanging up, I opened my own Venmo app. I'd never bothered to follow Vincent on it because we had a joint bank account for household expenses. I searched for his name and found his profile immediately. Public. Every transaction visible to anyone who looked. I scrolled through his history and felt sick. Payment after payment to Brooke Ashford, going back 7 months. Coffee run for us in November. Late night snacks with my girl in December. Celebrating our 2-month anniversary in January. January! I pulled up my calendar. In January, Vincent and I had celebrated our 5th wedding anniversary. He'd taken me to an expensive restaurant and told me how much he loved me. Apparently, he'd also celebrated a 2-month anniversary with someone else that same month. I kept scrolling. The payments had descriptions that made me want to throw up. Pet names, inside jokes, references to places they'd gone together, and every single one was marked with couple emojis, hearts, or kissing faces. Public, for anyone to see, for all his friends, colleagues, and family members to potentially see. He hadn't even tried to hide it. I screenshotted everything, methodically. Every payment to Brooke from the past 7 months, 93 transactions total, ranging from $15 for coffee to $200 for what he'd described as weekend getaway with my love. While I worked, my phone kept buzzing. Other friends were seeing the Venmo activity now. My friend Hannah from work, my cousin Sophie, my neighbor Marisol. They were all sending messages asking if I was okay, if I knew, if I needed anything. By evening, 8 different people had reached out. Vincent came home at 7:30 carrying takeout. "Got Thai food," he called out cheerfully. "Extra spring rolls like you like." I was sitting at the dining table with my laptop open and my phone beside me. I'd spent the afternoon going through everything. Bank statements, credit card bills, our shared calendar. "How was work?" I asked calmly. "Busy," he said, setting down the food. "Henderson is being difficult about the new marketing campaign. I might have to work late again tomorrow to smooth things over."
"Henderson," I repeated. "Right." He started unpacking the food, oblivious. "Did you have a good day?" "I learned something interesting today," I said. "I learned that your Venmo account is public." He froze for just a second, then continued pulling out containers.
Is it? I didn't know that. You didn't know that every payment you make is visible to anyone who looks at your profile? I asked. I guess I never thought about it, he said. I barely use Venmo anyway. 93 times in 7 months, I said. That's how many times you've used it to send money to Brooke Ashford. The container in his hand slipped and fell onto the table. Sauce splattered across the wood. I can explain, he said. I'm sure you can, I said. But I don't want to hear it right now. What I want is for you to leave. Just let me explain. Brooke is just a friend from work. Friends from work don't get payments described as anniversary celebrations with kissing emojis, I said. And before you try to lie more, I've already gone through our credit card statements. I found the hotel charges, the restaurants I've never been to, the jewelry purchases I never received. His face went white. I want you out of this house tonight, I said.
"Go stay with whoever will have you. Maybe Brooke has room." "We need to talk about this," he said. "No, we don't," I said. "Not tonight. Tonight, I need you gone. We can talk through lawyers." He stared at me for a long moment, then walked upstairs. I heard him moving around in the bedroom, packing. 20 minutes later, he came down with a duffel bag. "This is a mistake," he said. "The only mistake was mine," I replied. "Thinking I could trust you." After he left, I sat in the silent house and felt absolutely nothing. No tears, no rage, just a cold, crystalline clarity. I opened my laptop and began documenting everything systematically. I created a spreadsheet matching Vincent's Venmo payments to Brooke with our own marital milestones. February 14th. Vincent sent Brooke $75 for Valentine's dinner with my baby. Also February 14th, Vincent had given me roses and a card saying I was the love of his life. March 3rd, Vincent sent Brooke $40 for celebrating your promotion, beautiful. Also March 3rd, Vincent had told me he was attending a mandatory work dinner and would be home late. Our 5th anniversary in January. His Venmo showed an $80 payment to Brooke on January 18th with the description, "2 months with you has been amazing." He'd been seeing Brooke since mid-November while planning our anniversary dinner with me. I worked for 3 hours, cross-referencing everything. When I was done, I had a complete timeline showing exactly how Vincent had been splitting his time, money, and affection between 2 women. The next morning, I called a divorce attorney. The lawyer, a sharp woman named Patricia Kendrick, listened to everything and asked to see the documentation. "This is extraordinarily thorough," Patricia said, looking through the spreadsheets. "And the fact that it's all public makes it even better. He can't claim these are private communications being violated. He broadcast this information himself." "Can we use this in the divorce?" I asked. "Absolutely," Patricia said. New York isn't a pure no-fault state. Adultery is still grounds for divorce, and you have documented proof. This will be very straightforward. Over the next week, I stayed with my sister Claire while Patricia filed the papers. Vincent tried calling repeatedly. I didn't answer. He sent texts saying we needed to talk, that I was overreacting, that Brooke meant nothing. I didn't respond. Then he tried a different approach. He sent me a Venmo payment, 1 cent. The description read, "Please talk to me." It showed up in my public feed because my account was also set to public. I stared at it for a full minute before the idea crystallized. I opened my laptop and began drafting a post, not on Venmo, but on Facebook, where I had 300 friends, including most of our mutual acquaintances, family members, and colleagues. I wrote carefully, keeping my tone measured and factual.
I want to publicly thank the 8 friends who reached out to me last week after discovering concerning activity on my husband's Venmo account. Jessica, Hannah, Sophie, Marisol, Jennifer, Kate, Allison, and Rebecca. Your friendship and courage in bringing this to my attention means more than I can express. I also want to thank those friends for helping me understand how to check if social media and payment accounts are set to public versus private. It turns out that when accounts are public, anyone can see the transaction history. I learned that my husband Vincent had made 93 payments over 7 months to the same woman, many with romantic descriptions and couple emojis. I learned these payments coincided with significant moments in our marriage, including our anniversary, Valentine's Day, and my birthday. I learned that working late often meant something very different than I thought. For anyone wondering, yes, I've filed for divorce. The papers were served this morning, and for anyone who might be in a similar situation, check the public settings on your partner's social media and payment apps. You might learn something important. Thank you again to my true friends. I'm grateful for your honesty even when it was difficult. I read it 3 times, then posted it. Within 5 minutes, the reactions started. Friends commenting with support, family members expressing shock, colleagues Vincent worked with clearly seeing the post and suddenly understanding context they'd been missing. 30 minutes after posting, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. "You had no right to do that." A woman's voice, young, shaking with anger. "Who is this?" I asked, though I knew.
Brooke Ashford, you just humiliated Vincent publicly. Do you have any idea what you've done? I shared factual information about my own marriage, I said calmly. Everything I posted is verifiable and true. You're trying to ruin his life, Brooke said. You're vindictive and cruel. I'm vindictive? I asked. I'm not the one who spent 7 months sleeping with someone else's husband. He was going to leave you, Brooke said.
He told me your marriage was over. He said you barely talked anymore, that you were cold and distant, that he was just waiting for the right time. And you believed him while he was still living in our house, sleeping in our bed, and celebrating our anniversary? I asked. How convenient for you both. We're in love, Brooke said. He made a mistake staying with you as long as he did. Then you're welcome to him, I said. Enjoy being with someone who lies to everyone around him and is stupid enough to document his affair in a public payment app. You think you're so smart, Brooke spat, posting on Facebook like some jealous psycho. Everyone's going to see how crazy you are. Everyone's going to see exactly what I showed them, I said. A timeline of betrayal documented by your boyfriend himself. I didn't hack anything. I didn't violate any privacy. I just looked at information he chose to make public. I'm going to sue you for defamation, Brooke said. Please do, I replied. I'd love to watch you try to prove that the truth is defamatory. I have screenshots of everything. Bring it to court. I dare you. Brooke made a sound of pure frustration. Vincent said you were reasonable, that you'd understand, that we could all be adults about this. Vincent says a lot of things, I said. Very few of them are true. You'll learn that eventually. I hung up. 10 minutes later, Brooke posted a long rant on her own Facebook page. I knew because 6 different friends sent me screenshots. The post was unhinged. Brooke claimed I was a stalker who'd harassed her, that I had invaded Vincent's privacy, that I was spreading lies to destroy an innocent relationship. She claimed Vincent had been separated from me for over a year and that I was just bitter about him moving on. The post was filled with typos and exclamation points and emotional outbursts about true love and destiny. Within 20 minutes, people who knew the actual truth started commenting. Jessica commented with a screenshot of Vincent's Venmo from March 15th, asking how Brooke explained couple emojis and romantic messages if Vincent was supposedly separated. Hannah commented with a photo from our anniversary dinner in January, asking how Brooke explained celebrating anniversaries if the marriage was over. Sophie commented with a screenshot of Valentine's Day Venmo payments to Brooke alongside a photo Vincent had posted on his own Facebook of roses he'd given me that same day, asking how Brooke explained him celebrating Valentine's Day with two women simultaneously if he was separated from one of them. One by one, my friends dismantled Brooke's narrative with simple facts and screenshots, all publicly available information, all posted by Vincent himself. Brooke's post became a disaster. People she didn't even know were commenting, asking questions she couldn't answer. The more she tried to defend herself, the more desperate and unhinged she sounded. Finally, she deleted the entire post, but not before dozens of people had screenshotted it. I watched it all unfold with a strange sense of detachment. I hadn't asked my friends to do this. They'd done it themselves, because the truth was the truth, and Brooke's lies were so obviously lies. That evening, Vincent called. I answered on speakerphone. "You need to tell your friends to stop attacking Brooke," he said. His voice was tight with anger. "I didn't tell them to do anything," I said. "They're defending you by humiliating her. It's cruel." "They're responding to her public accusations with public evidence," I said. "Everything they posted came from your own accounts, your own posts, your own payment history that you chose to make public. I never thought anyone would actually look at that," he said. "That's not a defense, Vincent. That's just stupidity." "I made a mistake," he said. "I know that now, but this has gone too far. Brooke is getting harassment messages. Her friends are turning on her. Her family saw everything." "Good," I said. "Then she understands exactly how I felt when 8 of my friends had to tell me my husband was publicly flaunting an affair." "It wasn't like that," he protested. "It was exactly like that," I said. "You put couple emojis on payment descriptions and made them public. You documented your relationship with her in the most careless, disrespectful way possible. Not just disrespectful to me, but to her too. Did you even care that her friends might see? That her family might find out this way?" He was quiet. "I didn't think about it," he finally admitted. "No," I agreed. "You didn't. You didn't think about me when you started the affair. You didn't think about consequences when you documented it publicly. You didn't think about Brooke when you exposed her this way. You just did whatever felt good in the moment without considering anything else." "I loved you," he said. "I still love you." "You love the idea of not being the bad guy," I said. "But Vincent, you are the bad guy here. You lied to both of us. You betrayed your marriage. You were so arrogant you didn't even bother to hide it properly. And now you're angry that there are consequences." "What do you want from me?" he asked. "Nothing," I said. "I want nothing from you except a quick divorce and to never have to think about you again." "It doesn't have to be like this," he said. "We could try counseling. We could work through this." "No," I said firmly. "We couldn't. Because I don't want to. Because you destroyed any trust we had. Because every time I look at you now, all I see is 93 payments to another woman with hearts and couple emojis. That's not something counseling fixes." I hung up. Over the next several days, the fallout continued. Vincent's mother called me crying, apologizing for her son's behavior. She'd seen the Facebook post and checked Vincent's Venmo herself. "I raised him better than this," she sobbed. "I don't understand how he could be so stupid and so cruel. Vincent's boss at the marketing firm apparently had a conversation with him about professional conduct after several clients saw the social media drama and expressed concerns about working with someone who showed such poor judgment. Brooke apparently quit her job at Vincent's company and deleted all her social media accounts. I heard through mutual friends that Brooke and Vincent had a massive fight where she blamed him for ruining her reputation and he blamed her for not being understanding about his situation. They broke up 3 weeks after I filed for divorce. Patricia, my lawyer, reported that Vincent's attorney was pushing for a quick settlement. The public nature of the affair had apparently convinced Vincent that going to trial would only make things worse. "He's offering you a very favorable division of assets," Patricia said. "I think he just wants this over with." "Good," I said. "So do I." The divorce was finalized in 4 months. I got the house, my car, and 60% of our joint savings. Vincent got his car, his retirement account, and the privilege of explaining to future partners why his previous marriage ended. On the day the divorce was final, I posted one more Facebook update. "Officially divorced as of today. Thank you to everyone who supported me through this process. Special thanks to my friends who showed me the truth even when it was painful and who helped me understand that sometimes the worst thing someone can do is exactly what they chose to do. I'm looking forward to a future built on honesty, trust, and relationships with people who understand that privacy settings exist for a reason." Also, for anyone curious, I checked and Vincent finally changed his Venmo to private. Only took him a divorce to learn that lesson. The post got 200 likes and dozens of comments. Jessica commented, "Proud of you." Hannah commented, "To new beginnings." Sophie commented, "He never deserved you." 6 months later, I ran into Brooke at a coffee shop downtown. She was with a new boyfriend, laughing at something he'd said. When she saw me, her face went pale. I could have said something cutting, could have made a scene, could have reminded her of everything that had happened. Instead, I just nodded politely and walked past to order my coffee. As I was leaving, Brooke called out, "Wait." I turned. Brooke approached slowly, leaving her boyfriend at the table. "I owe you an apology," she said quietly, "for everything. For the affair, for the things I said, for the Facebook post. You were right about everything." "Okay," I said. "He lied to me too," Brooke continued. "About his marriage, about his life, about everything. I found out later he was actually seeing another woman while we were together. He'd been sending her money on Venmo with couple emojis while telling me I was the only one. Despite everything, I felt a flicker of sympathy. I'm sorry that happened to you." "I deserved it," Brooke said. "I knew he was married and I convinced myself his lies were true because I wanted them to be. That's on me." "What you deserved was honesty," I said. "From him and from yourself. But yes, the choices you made are on you." Brooke nodded. "I hope you're doing well. I mean that." "I am," I said. "I really am." And I was. I'd started therapy, I'd reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with during my marriage. I'd gotten a promotion at work. I'd repainted the bedroom and removed every trace of Vincent from my house and my life. Most importantly, I'd learned to trust my instincts again, to believe my friends when they told me hard truths, to verify things that seemed off instead of accepting comfortable lies. I'd learned that sometimes the most important thing you can do is look at what's right in front of you, even when someone is telling you not to see it. Vincent had broadcast his betrayal to the world and expected no one to notice. He'd built his deception on the foundation of my trust and his own arrogance. And when it all came crashing down, he'd blamed everyone but himself. But I was done being blamed for other people's choices. Done being made to feel crazy for noticing what was literally public information. Done accepting less than I deserved. I walked out of the coffee shop into bright sunshine, my coffee warm in my hands, and felt genuinely happy for the first time in months. The truth had hurt. The divorce had been difficult. The public nature of it all had been embarrassing. But I'd survived it. More than survived. I'd reclaimed myself. And that was worth every uncomfortable moment, every hard conversation, every screenshot of evidence I'd had to document. I was free, and I would never settle for less than honesty again.
You've just stepped into her revenge side, where every wound finds its justice, and every silence ends with truth. If her story struck a chord, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Another secret waits in the next video. See how her revenge begins.